Very urgent. Your soulmate is about to make a final decision about you. Please open this before everything changes. My beloved child, something has shifted in your soulmate's heart, and this time, it is not a passing thought they can simply push away. A final decision about you has been forming quietly behind everything they have been feeling, and what brought them to this moment may surprise you more than the decision itself. Don't skip, because the smallest detail in what you are about to hear changes the meaning of everything. Your soulmate has been replaying memories, conversations, unfinished moments, and even the silence between you. They have asked themselves one question again and again: what if this person is the one connection I was never supposed to ignore? And suddenly, the answer feels different. Something inside them has become clearer. They are beginning to understand that what they feel for you cannot remain hidden behind hesitation forever. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the final realization they reached is the part you need to hear most. But here is where everything becomes unexpected. Their decision did not begin because someone convinced them. It began because they imagined their future without you in it, and that thought changed something deep inside them. For the first time, they understood what your presence truly means to them. They remembered the way you made ordinary moments feel important. They remembered how your energy stayed in their thoughts even when they tried focusing on everything else. And then came the realization they could no longer dismiss. Losing the possibility of something meaningful with you would leave behind a question they might carry for years. Don't skip. This is where their entire perspective begins turning around. Instead of asking whether they should keep waiting, they have started asking what would happen if they finally became honest about what they want. Something huge is waiting for you, because the decision forming inside them is no longer about running from their feelings. It is about whether they are finally ready to move toward what their heart has quietly chosen. And now comes the revelation that changes the entire story. Your soulmate has reached a point where remaining uncertain feels harder than finally choosing a direction. They have realized that some connections appear ordinary at first but become impossible to replace once you understand their meaning. In their mind, you have become that connection. Stay till the end, because this is only the beginning of what they have decided, and the next part reveals what pushed them over the edge. There was one specific realization about you that made everything suddenly become clear. It was not your appearance, not something someone told them, and not a random memory. It was something much deeper, something they noticed about the way you affected their future without even trying. And once they recognized it, they could not see you the same way again. Don't skip, because their final decision is closer than you think, and what they are preparing themselves to do next could completely change the direction of this connection. Something changed inside your soulmate the moment they finally understood what makes you impossible to replace. They had spent so much time thinking their feelings would eventually become quieter, that distance would make everything easier, or that waiting would somehow give them the answer. But the opposite happened. The more they tried to understand their heart, the more clearly your presence appeared in their future. Don't skip, because this realization is exactly what pushed them closer to that final decision. They began noticing that whenever they imagined genuine happiness, peace, loyalty, and a connection that actually feels meaningful, somehow their thoughts returned to you. And that surprised them. They suddenly understood that you were never simply another chapter they could close and forget. You became the person who made them question what they truly wanted from love. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate has stopped asking, "Why do I keep thinking about this person?" Now they are asking something completely different: what am I going to do about these feelings? That question is where everything begins changing. Then came the moment they could no longer hide from themselves. Your soulmate imagined you moving forward with your life while they remained silent, and suddenly the possibility of missing their chance felt more powerful than every excuse they had been holding on to. They realized that waiting forever could become the one decision they would wish they could change. Don't skip, because what happened emotionally after that was surprising. Instead of feeling confused, they felt clarity. Instead of wondering whether this connection mattered, they began wondering why they had taken so long to recognize its importance. Something huge is waiting for you, because they are now thinking beyond temporary emotions. They are thinking about consistency, trust, shared moments, and what it would actually mean to build something meaningful with you. They have started looking at you differently, not as someone who simply entered their thoughts, but as someone who could become an important part of the life they are trying to create. And once that realization entered their heart, going back to the old uncertainty became almost impossible. But there is one final piece they still need to settle within themselves, and this is where the story becomes even more intense. Your soulmate knows that making a real decision about you means they can no longer hide behind endless hesitation. They must choose whether to keep everything unspoken or finally allow their actions to match what their heart has been telling them. Stay till the end, because the next revelation explains why they may be closer to choosing you than you realize. They recently recognized something about your connection that they had overlooked before. Even during moments when nothing seemed to be happening, their feelings never completely disappeared. That consistency became their answer. Don't skip. They are beginning to believe that something this persistent deserves more than silence. Something huge is waiting for you, because the final decision is taking shape right now, and the next thing they have been considering is not another period of waiting. It is a step forward that could finally reveal everything they have been keeping inside. Now the silence around your soulmate is beginning to mean something completely different. What once looked like hesitation has slowly turned into preparation, because they are no longer questioning whether you matter to them. They are trying to understand how to handle a connection that has become far more important than they expected. Don't skip, because this is where their final decision begins moving from thought into intention. Something happened inside them when they realized that every time they tried imagining a new direction, there was still one unfinished feeling pulling their attention back toward you. It wasn't simply a memory. It was the realization that there are things they still want you to know, moments they still want to experience with you, and words they never found the courage to express clearly. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate is beginning to understand that the biggest unanswered question in their heart is no longer, "Do I feel something?" The question has become, "Am I ready to finally show it?" And the answer forming inside them may surprise you. Here is the unexpected part: they have started thinking about what would happen after the decision. That means this is becoming bigger than a temporary emotional moment. They are imagining conversations becoming more honest, misunderstandings becoming clearer, and the distance between what they feel and what they show finally becoming smaller. Don't skip, because one particular thought changed their entire perspective. They realized they do not want to look back someday and wonder what might have happened if they had simply been brave enough to be genuine with you. That realization hit differently. Suddenly, all the reasons for waiting seemed smaller than the possibility of discovering what this connection could actually become. Something huge is waiting for you, because your soulmate has begun replacing fear with intention. They are not looking for another excuse to remain uncertain. They are searching for the right way to move forward without destroying the meaning of what they already feel. And beneath all those thoughts is one powerful truth: they care much more about the outcome with you than they ever planned to admit. But the strongest revelation is still unfolding. Your soulmate has quietly reached a personal boundary. They know they cannot remain between choosing you and walking away forever. A direction must finally be chosen, and deep inside, one direction is becoming stronger every time they think about you. Stay till the end, because the next part changes the emotional weight of everything. They have begun asking themselves what choosing you would actually require, not just emotionally, but through consistency, honesty, and genuine effort. And instead of making them pull away, that thought has made them more certain. Don't skip. This is the shift you were waiting for. They are no longer dreaming only about what you could give them, they are thinking about what they would need to give you. Something huge is waiting for you, because once someone starts thinking that way, the decision is no longer only about feelings. It becomes about action. And there is one specific action your soulmate has been considering that could reveal exactly which direction their heart has finally chosen, what your soulmate is. Considering now could become the turning point of this entire connection. They have moved beyond simply thinking about you and have started imagining the moment when everything unspoken finally becomes clear. Don't skip, because the action forming in their mind is surprisingly simple but emotionally powerful. They want to stop leaving you confused about where you stand. They have realized that genuine feelings mean very little when they remain hidden forever, and that realization is pushing them toward greater honesty. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate has been thinking about opening a real conversation, showing you through consistency that you matter, and allowing you to see the side of them that hesitation kept hidden. The surprising part is that they are not imagining one dramatic moment and then disappearing again. They are thinking about what comes afterward. They are imagining being present, communicating more clearly, and proving through their choices that their decision about you was not temporary. That is the shift. They are no longer asking how to escape these feelings. They are asking how to honor them. Then another realization entered their mind, and this one made their decision even stronger. They understood that choosing someone is not about finding a perfect moment. Sometimes it is about recognizing the person who continues to matter even through imperfect circumstances. Don't skip, because your soulmate has started seeing you through that lens. They remember the emotional imprint you left without forcing anything. They remember the moments when simply thinking about you made them reconsider what they truly wanted. And now they are beginning to believe that ignoring something this meaningful would be harder than finally acknowledging it. Something huge is waiting for you, because the final decision is becoming less about uncertainty and more about courage. They are preparing themselves to let their actions speak clearly. They want you to notice a difference, not through empty promises, but through attention, effort, and the willingness to stop hiding behind mixed signals. Stay till the end, because there is still one truth they have not completely faced, and once they do, everything could become even clearer, and this is the truth that changes the direction of the story. Your soulmate is beginning to understand that choosing you also means accepting the possibility of being truly seen by you. That requires honesty, and honesty is exactly where their heart is leading them now. Don't skip. They are approaching the point where keeping everything inside no longer feels like protection, it feels like losing precious time. Something huge is waiting for you, because they are closer than ever to admitting what they actually want from this connection. They have begun imagining what it would feel like to replace uncertainty with clarity, silence with meaningful conversation, and hesitation with a genuine step forward. But there is one final question they are asking themselves before that happens: if I finally choose this connection, am I ready to choose it fully? And what they are beginning to answer inside their heart is the revelation that leads directly into what happens next. The answer forming inside your soulmate is becoming impossible for them to ignore. Every time they ask themselves whether they are truly ready to choose this connection, their mind returns to the same realization: they do not want another chapter of uncertainty with you. They want clarity. They want to know what could happen if they finally stop holding back and allow this connection to move in a meaningful direction. Don't skip, because this is where their final decision becomes stronger than their hesitation. They have started understanding that choosing you does not mean knowing exactly how every future moment will unfold. It means deciding that what exists between you deserves a genuine chance. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate has spent enough time analyzing every possibility, but now one possibility stands above all the others: the possibility that you could become someone they build something lasting with. And the shocking part is how deeply that thought has begun changing them. Instead of wondering how quickly they can forget these feelings, they are wondering how they can finally show you that those feelings were real. A completely different side of them is beginning to emerge. They are thinking less about protecting their pride and more about protecting the possibility of something meaningful with you. Don't skip, because one realization has completely shifted the balance: they understood that silence can become its own decision. If they continue doing nothing, they may eventually watch the opportunity they secretly wanted disappear. That thought made everything feel different. Something huge is waiting for you, because they are beginning to recognize that waiting for a perfect sign may never give them what they truly want. At some point, they must become the person who creates the next moment instead of waiting for it. And now their thoughts are moving toward you with surprising clarity. They are imagining what they would say if they stopped filtering every emotion. They are imagining how they would explain why they hesitated for so long. Most importantly, they are thinking about what they could do differently so that you would never have to question their intentions again. Stay till the end, because the decision is no longer hiding somewhere far away. It is becoming something they can almost put into words. And then came the realization they were least prepared for: choosing you may require them to leave an older version of themselves behind, the version that waited too long, overthought everything, and allowed important feelings to remain unspoken. Don't skip, because this is the once-in-a-lifetime shift that could change everything between you. Your soulmate is beginning to see that their next chapter cannot look exactly like their previous one. If they want something different, they must act differently. Something huge is waiting for you, because they are no longer only asking whether you are worth choosing. Deep inside, they already know what you mean to them. Now they are asking whether they can become ready for the kind of connection they imagine having with you. And something surprising is happening: instead of stepping backward, they are moving closer to an answer. Stay till the end, because one final realization is about to push their decision even further, and it involves something about you that they never expected to value this deeply. A realization your soulmate never expected has suddenly become the strongest reason behind their decision. With you, they do not only imagine excitement, they imagine peace. And that difference has changed everything. Don't skip, because they have finally understood why your presence kept returning to their thoughts even when they tried to focus elsewhere. There is something about this connection that makes them imagine being understood without constantly pretending, being valued without constantly proving themselves, and building something that feels steady instead of temporary. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate has started recognizing that the person who truly changes your life is not always the loudest person who enters it. Sometimes it is the person whose absence makes you suddenly understand how much their presence mattered. And when they imagined you becoming only a distant memory, something inside them immediately resisted that possibility. That was the moment their uncertainty began losing its power. They realized they did not want to remember you as the person they almost chose. They wanted to discover what could happen if they finally stopped hesitating and gave this connection the honesty it deserved. But then something even more surprising happened inside their thoughts. They stopped imagining only the first conversation and started imagining everything that could come after it. Don't skip, because this is where their feelings become much more serious. They pictured ordinary days, simple conversations, moments when nothing extraordinary was happening, and somehow, you were still there. That realization surprised them because it showed them that what they want is deeper than one emotional moment. Something huge is waiting for you, because your soulmate is beginning to think in terms of permanence rather than possibility. They are asking themselves whether you could be the person they choose not just when emotions are intense, but when life becomes quiet and ordinary too. And each time they ask that question, the answer becomes clearer. Stay till the end, because they have also realized something important about you. You never needed to become someone else to remain unforgettable in their mind. It was your natural presence, your energy, and the way this connection made them feel that stayed with them. That is why their next move is becoming less about impressing you and more about finally being genuine with you. Now everything is approaching one defining moment. Your soulmate knows there is a difference between feeling something privately and making a decision that changes what happens next. Don't skip, because they are standing directly between those two places now. They have reached the point where repeating the same pattern would mean choosing uncertainty again, and deep inside, they no longer want that. Something huge is waiting for you. They are becoming ready to choose clarity, consistency, and a real opportunity to discover what this connection could become. But there is still one final realization waiting beneath everything, and it may be the strongest one yet. Your soulmate has started wondering whether all the hesitation, distance, and unanswered questions were actually showing them something they could never have understood immediately, no matter how many times they tried to mentally close this chapter. Something about you kept reopening it. Stay till the end, because they are finally asking why, and the answer they are beginning to discover could become the exact reason their final decision changes everything. The answer has finally started becoming clear to your soulmate, and it is not what they expected. They kept returning to you because this connection never felt completely finished inside them. Every time they tried to convince themselves that enough time had passed, another memory, another feeling, or another vision of the future brought the same question back: what if I am walking away from something I will never find in the same way again? Don't skip, because this question has changed the entire direction of their thoughts. Your soulmate is beginning to realize that their hesitation was never proof that they felt nothing. In many ways, they hesitated because what they felt carried more meaning than they knew how to handle. But now something has shifted. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They are no longer searching for reasons to keep you at a distance. They are searching for the courage to stop pretending this connection means less than it actually does. And the most surprising part is that their final decision is beginning to feel less like a difficult choice and more like something their heart has quietly known for a long time. Then came one thought that completely changed the emotional weight of everything. They imagined finally telling you the truth and feeling the burden of uncertainty disappear. Don't skip, because this is the moment they realized how exhausted they had become from constantly questioning something that continued returning to the same answer. They imagined looking at you without hiding behind confusion. They imagined allowing their actions to become clear enough that you would no longer need to guess what you mean to them. Something huge is waiting for you, because they are starting to understand that the next step cannot be another invisible promise made only inside their mind. If this connection matters, they know it must eventually be reflected through genuine effort. Stay till the end, because your soulmate is now considering something they previously avoided, becoming completely clear about their intentions. Not perfect. Not dramatic. Simply clear. And once that possibility entered their mind, it created a feeling they had not expected: relief. For the first time, moving toward you feels easier than continuing to run in circles around what they already know. And now their final decision is closer than it has ever been. Your soulmate has reached the realization that they do not want fear, timing, or endless overthinking to write the ending of this story for them. Don't skip, because this is where everything you have heard begins coming together. They know they cannot control every outcome, but they can control whether they show up honestly. They can choose whether they continue hiding or finally give this connection the opportunity they secretly wanted it to have. Something huge is waiting for you, because deep inside, their heart is leaning toward one powerful direction, choosing clarity over confusion and possibility over regret. But one last thing remains. Before they make that decision completely, they are confronting the deepest question of all: why does the thought of choosing you feel like choosing a completely different future? Stay till the end, because the answer to that question reveals what they truly see when they imagine you beside them, and that revelation could become the final piece that changes everything. This is the moment everything inside your soulmate begins connecting. When they imagine choosing you, they are not simply imagining another relationship or another temporary chapter, they are imagining a different version of their future. Don't skip, because that realization has become the final piece they were searching for. Somewhere along the way, you became connected to the kind of life they secretly want: more honesty, more peace, more meaningful conversations, and fewer feelings left unspoken. They have begun realizing that their attraction to this connection is not only about what they feel when they think about you, it is also about who they imagine becoming beside you. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate can finally see why every attempt to dismiss this connection left the same unfinished feeling behind. They were trying to close a door while part of them still wanted to know what existed on the other side. Now that curiosity has transformed into clarity. They do not want another endless cycle of wondering. They want an answer, and for the first time, they understand that the only way to discover that answer